Edouard Manet's Berthe Morisot with Bouquet of Violets, 1872, is a portrait of striking psychological depth. At first glance, the painting feels restrained and elegant, yet beneath its surface lies a quiet intensity. Morisot's dark attire, shadowed gaze, and almost spectral bouquet create an atmosphere of introspection, melancholy, and mystery. Her eyes engage the viewer directly, but their expression remains elusive, suggesting a private inner world that cannot be fully known. The mood is both intimate and distant, an encounter with a person who is present, physically yet emotionally withdrawn. Technically, the work demonstrates Manet's mastery of tonal painting. He constructs the portrait largely from variations of black, using subtle shifts of light and shadow rather than bright color to create form and emotion. Unlike many of his portraits, Morisot is illuminated dramatically from one side, producing a rich contrast that models her face with remarkable immediacy. Loose, confident brushwork prevents the image from becoming overly polished, while the restrained palette heightens its emotional power. The barely visible violets act as a delicate counterpoint to the dominance of black, introducing a note of fragility and tenderness. The result is a portrait that is both modern and timeless, at once a likeness and a profound study of character. Manet's Boating from 1874 captures the spirit of leisure and modern life with remarkable freshness and immediacy. The painting radiates a mood of calm confidence and sunlit freedom. Seated close to the viewer, the elegantly dressed couple appears suspended in a moment of quiet enjoyment on the water. While the scene suggests relaxation and affluence, there is also an intriguing emotional ambiguity. The woman's thoughtful expression and the man's focus on steering create a sense of introspective distance rather than overt interaction, giving the composition a subtle psychological complexity. Technically, the painting demonstrates Manet's innovative approach to modern painting. He employs broad, economical brushstrokes and a luminous palette dominated by deep blues, crisp whites, and warm flesh tones. The unusually cropped composition places the figures close to the picture plane, creating the impression that the viewer occupies a neighboring boat. Rather than carefully rendering every detail, Manet simplifies forms and allows color contrasts to carry much of the visual impact. The expansive blue water serves as both setting and abstract field, flattening space while intensifying the brilliance of the figures. Influenced by contemporary Impressionist interests in light and leisure, yet retaining his own bold realism, Manet transforms an ordinary boating excursion into a vivid celebration of modern life, sunlight, and fleeting experience. Manet's Chez le Père Lathuille, 1879, is a captivating study of social interaction charged with charm, anticipation, and subtle emotional tension. Set in a fashionable Parisian garden restaurant, the painting conveys the lively atmosphere of modern urban life while focusing on a more intimate human drama. The young man leans forward with eager attention, his posture suggesting courtship and hopeful pursuit. Across from him, the woman appears composed and self-possessed, her reserved expression creating an emotional counterbalance. The mood is warm and inviting, yet beneath the convivial setting lies a quiet uncertainty, as though the outcome of their encounter remains undecided. Technically, the painting reflects Manet's mature style and his engagement with contemporary life. Loose, confident brushwork captures the fleeting effects of natural light filtering through foliage, while preserving the solidity of the figures. Rather than relying on meticulous detail, Manet uses broad areas of color and carefully controlled contrasts to direct the viewer's attention. The composition is masterfully arranged. The figures occupy the foreground with striking immediacy, while the softly rendered background suggests the bustle of Parisian leisure without distracting from the central exchange. Rich greens, blacks, and warm flesh tones create a harmonious palette. The result is a painting that feels spontaneous and modern, yet psychologically nuanced. A snapshot of human connection, suspended between possibility and restraint. Manet's A Bar at the Folies-Bergère, 1881 to 1882, is both a dazzling depiction of Parisian nightlife and a profound meditation on modern isolation. At first glance, the painting sparkles with energy. Bottles, glassware, and reflected lights evoke the excitement of the famous entertainment venue. Yet the emotional center of the work lies in the expression of the barmaid, whose detached gaze introduces an unexpected sense of loneliness. Surrounded by crowds and spectacle, she appears psychologically isolated, creating a striking contrast between public excitement and private introspection. The mood is therefore layered, simultaneously vibrant, glamorous, and quietly melancholic. The painting demonstrates Manet's extraordinary command of composition and visual ambiguity. The large mirror behind the bar reflects the bustling interior, but its spatial relationships are deliberately puzzling, challenging the viewer's assumptions about perspective and reality. This innovative use of reflection transforms the painting from a simple scene into a complex exploration of perception. Manet's brushwork is economical yet expressive, capturing textures of glass, fabric, and flesh with remarkable efficiency. Bright highlights and rich tonal contrasts animate the surface, while the carefully balanced arrangement of objects anchors the composition. Rather than idealizing the scene, Manet presents modern life as both alluring and emotionally detached. The result is a masterpiece of psychological realism, an image that continues to fascinate through its blend of visual brilliance, ambiguity, and human vulnerability. Manet's The Railway, 1873, is a compelling portrait of modern life that balances intimacy with mystery. The painting presents a young woman seated beside a child near the iron fence of a railway station. Yet, the expected drama of the passing train remains unseen. Instead, the viewer encounters a moment of quiet contemplation. The woman's direct gaze engages us with confidence and self-awareness, while the child, turned away, peers through the fence toward the clouds of steam beyond. This contrast creates a mood of curiosity, reflection, and subtle separation. The painting feels suspended between stillness and movement, between the visible world and the unseen activity just beyond the frame. Manet demonstrates his modern sensibility through bold composition and selective detail. Rather than depicting the train itself, he suggests its presence through drifting steam and the imposing iron lattice, allowing imagination to complete the scene. The flattened picture space, strong geometric patterns of the fence, and abrupt cropping reflect influences from contemporary photography and Japanese prints. His brushwork remains loose and confident, capturing textures and light without excessive refinement. Bright whites, deep blues, and dark ironwork create striking visual contrasts that unify the composition. By focusing on everyday urban experience rather than historical or mythological subjects, Manet transforms an ordinary moment into a thoughtful exploration of modernity, perception, and human connection in a rapidly changing world.